Good morning, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions. Friends, today's episode is not about women empowerment. In fact, it is not only about women empowerment. It is much more than that. We will be talking to a lady who has shown grit, determination, and the family brings in so much of sacrifice to keep their transport company afloat. We will be talking to Mrs Anuradha Nijhawan of Anand Trans Logistics. Anuradha ji was a housewife taking care of her two kids when she decided to help her husband out with a very critical element of the transport business, which is accounting. Over the years, she understood the nuances of how accounting plays a major role in the transport business. She was handling all kinds of accounts for her company, including dealing with drivers and their accounts, which is, we all know, a tough job. Her two sons had grown up meanwhile, and one was settled in the US, working for a corporate company, and the younger one, doing his chartered accountancy, was working with a company in India. But often, destiny brings in changes which no one is prepared for. Today we will be talking to Anuradha Nijhawan, hearing her journey and knowing why she qualifies to be the brand ambassador for Eicher Nayi Soch. Be with you after this very short break. Keep watching Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions.
एकदम टिप टॉप है। सर है क्या?
हाँ है ना ऑफिस में।
कैसा है? सर मैं कह रहा था हमारे जो 2 ट्रक है ना,
पहले जाके हाथ धो के आ।
सर मैं
हाथ धो के आ।
सर मैं कह रहा था कि हमारे दोनों ट्रक चकाचक है।
और मैं कह रहा हूं पहले बैठ जा। बैठ जा। पहले खाना खा लेते, फिर काम की बात करते।
बिजनेस तभी बढ़ेगा जब सोच बदलेगी।
Welcome back, friends, to Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions. I am Girish Michandani, and today we are talking to Mrs Anuradha Nijhawan of Anand Trans Logistics and knowing what her journey is all about. Well, Anuradha ji, when you got married, work was not your priority at that point of time. You continued being a homemaker, raising your kids, and then suddenly you decided to join the family business. What was the trigger?
And this is about maybe 1995. Actually, I got married at a very early age, around I think 18 or 19, and after that, at that time I was doing ICWA, which is cost and works accountants. And when I got married, my husband said, "Nahi, this is not going to help us much. So I think you should be doing CA. That would be helpful for our business." So I said, okay, fine. So I sincerely tried taking those exams. I wrote twice, but I could not clear. एक आधे सब्जेक्ट में कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाती थी, and then I was not able to clear it. So that was the time when I thought कि नहीं, if I'm able to do it, then it will be a great thing. But then my husband said, no, I would prefer you to come and sit in the office and help me out. So let's not waste more time, you just join work. So this is when my younger son was about 2 years old, and I started going to the office with him half a day, and I would adjust my timings and started getting a hang of the whole thing.
Being quite a sudden decision, how was the reaction from your relatives, from the other staff members? How cooperative, how supportive were they to your decision?
There was a little confrontation from my in-laws, but my father-in-law really encouraged me. Okay. He is actually, he is the person behind everything, like, you know, today whatever I am. He has really encouraged me and supported me a lot. And there was lots to learn from him, because every 6 months he would visit us and he would go to the office with us. And I realized that just looking at him, watching him, how he's talking, how he's handling things, there was so much to learn. I feel experience really helps, you know. So, and my husband also supported me through and through. Like, transport business is not a single man's this thing. So, and earlier times there were a lot of cash withdrawals and all those things were there. So his nature was कि okay, आज किसी को पैसे दिए, so he will not, you know, ask for the account till 3-4 days, and because he had other things like the repairs and talking to the clients and a lot of other things which he was taking care of. So I stepped in to take care of the accounts. That is
the function means mostly was accounts.
Yes, yes. And it started with just that daily petty cash handling. How much is withdrawn from the bank and where we are spending, how much is, just recording those things. And I started learning the business.
Anuradha ji, how did you find the initial days at work?
It was interesting because every day there were new things to learn, and so it started like that. And finally I started taking over a lot of things like daily cash handling तो था, उसके बाद drivers के साथ में, of course not the direct dealing, but their expenses and how whatever the regular, you know, business में everyday whatever is happening, diesel and lot of things. मतलब it was a learning journey.
Backend was आपका फिर भी पूरा clear था.
Yes,
picture basically.
yes. I know I have actually grown over the years.
When you joined the transport business, did you have any idea what you're getting into and what this business is all about?
When I joined, I did not know anything at all. My father was always in services, and I didn't even know what business families are like. And but it was interesting, and I started going, and I really felt that my husband needed my support. Because एक दिन भी if I would not be in office, it was like no, I shouldn't be missing work. So it was like that. So initially it was half a day, and when children started growing, I started going full day with him.
Well, Anuradha ji, we always say, you know, having a family member in the transport business is really a boon. In fact, we know of companies where many members of the family are part of the same business. Not just immediate family members, but extended family also. So you joining the business, did it make life simpler for your husband?
Exactly. You don't have to recheck things, because today if I give this work to an employee, I definitely have to get back and recheck whatever they have been doing, and my husband was more relaxed, because if the finances were in my hands, okay, things are
He could focus on operations.
Yes, and he could even travel. Sometimes it was required for him to travel because we had branches. So I would be in the office, so he was like, it was a big support for him.
Anuradha ji, how was the acceptance from the staff? Especially knowing that now there was somebody who would keep a better track of funds.
Yes, actually we have a lot of staff members who are very, very old, and they have supported. Definitely they have supported a lot, and there was huge respect which I got from them. And at that time there were not many women in this field, but now I guess there are a lot more who are entering this field. And I think it was a very closed kind of atmosphere for me, because I wasn't dealing with the drivers directly. There was just a handful of people in the office with whom I was dealing initially. Right. So as I said, I just grew as time passed, because once I learnt the trade, then I was more confident, and I was able to handle things. And if you are in business and you are attending office every day, and if you're controlling things, you definitely get the respect, because once you get knowledge of the trade, that's how I grew with the.
Anuradha ji, do you remember your first day at work? What was it like, and how did you manage your schedule having 2 small kids to take care of back home?
I really don't remember the first day of work, but initial days I would adjust my timings according to my children, definitely. And okay, so if my son has got an exam, so I would leave early, maybe around 3:30, 4, and take care of his studies also. And this was very initial, I mean, but afterwards, I think everything fell into place.
Anuradha ji, what was your motivation to keep engaged in the work and keep expanding your portfolio within the organization?
It was difficult initially, definitely, but then when you see that you have got an important role in the organization, so that keeps you going, and as far as the housework and everything is concerned, I feel housework to karna hi padta hai. So it's
you have to maintain a balance.
Yes,
Which is quite challenging actually.
Yes,
it's not easy.
it is challenging, but I think there is a lot more satisfaction when you're able to do more than that. Definitely.
So what were the initial challenges that you faced, especially since you were taking part of such a critical element of the transport business, which is accounting?
The learning challenges as challenges मैं क्या बोलूँ, because it was like
ट्रांसपोर्ट की अकाउंटिंग भी बड़ी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सी होती है. There's too much of cash involvement. The drivers कुछ बिल दे दिया, कुछ भी
हाँ,
दे दिया.
वो तो है, वो तो because there is so much theft and all those things. There used to be challenges, but then as you keep on working and learning the things, you understand कि कहाँ पे loopholes हैं and how to plug them. And there were confrontations also for that, कि people were not happy कि ये चीज़ तो पहले कोई पूछता ही नहीं था. Now why are these things being questioned? But then definitely if it's my business, I have all the right to question them, and things fell into place. So there was.
Anuradha ji, what changes and growth did you see in business after you joining in, and what is your area of business really?
Okay, so when I joined, there were maybe around 25 trucks which we had, and today we have a fleet of about 175 vehicles, and there are companies who have, I think, 500 plus vehicles, 1000 plus vehicles, but my take on this is that, okay, do little work, but do it properly, as much as you can control. So it's and my business, we were just two of us. Right. So there are a lot of families जिसमें पूरी families ही लगी हुई हैं. So if you have working hands, good, you can go ahead with it. And
what was the nature of business?
We were transporting finished goods, full truckloads. We have never done part loads. We have.
And what was the geographical area you used to cover?
Yeah, we are still only catering to eastern sector. From south to east. Earlier we used to do north also, but as of now we are doing eastern sector.
It has always been said, Anuradha ji, that working to and from the east is always a very difficult task. What are your thoughts on the same?
Yes, because the industry is not there in east, so return loads is a problem. Yeah, return loads is a problem. We have fixed clients, and mostly we are working for eastern sector, wherein I told you, return loads are not enough, but whatever selected clients are there, we are doing with them, and otherwise sometimes we do load vehicles from the market. Okay. So we have set brokers, and we are able to manage to get our fleet back to the south. Yeah.
Anuradha ji, you've been in business for quite some time now. What are the significant changes that you have seen in the transport industry, and which has been the most significant one according to you?
Lots. It's like I feel it's pehle to it was really not organized sector, but now things have really improved. And when all these changes were taking place, like when this demonetization and all that took place, initially there was like a lot of challenges which we faced. And in fact, my personal opinion was, what is this happening? How will we do it? It was a very negative this thing. But now, 2 years down the line, I think there were a lot of good things which have come with it. which the industry wouldn't have seen for another 6, 7, 8 years, maybe, like e-challans and e-invoices and all those things. Like acceptability started coming in, and I feel demonetization did help a lot. Like now the cash handling is almost zero. Yes. Lots of things have got streamlined, and वो teething problems हर एक चीज़ में होती हैं, but I feel it was a good take to, now cash handling is absolutely almost zero. So and these tolls and everything, now it is more.
East has become much better than
Definitely better. Now we don't hear the drivers complaining at all ki, that is all beyond control. But otherwise, definitely there is a lot of improvement. And the turnaround of trucks is also better. The जो पहले trips 8 days में होती थी, अभी वो 5 दिन में हो रही हैं, and it's a lot better.
Friends, Anuradha ji and her husband were managing the business very well and growing it at a pace that they wanted it to grow at. They were not going too slow, they were not going too fast, but they were making the right moves to make sure that the business grew gradually. But then, out of the blue came a jolt. Anuradha ji lost her husband to cancer, and that was a big shock. Their sons were not in the business. The elder one, Hasit, was away in the US, and Rishabh was working for some other company. But then when they say duty calls, when family calls, the kids are always there by you. Hasit left everything in the US and came back to support the family business. And so did Rishabh. After completing his chartered accountancy, he also joined the family business. And today both the brothers are supporting their mom. We'll know more about this journey and how the company came back on its feet much stronger. Coming up right after this short break, keep watching Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India. Real people, real emotions, my friends.
ये मार्केट में अच्छा चलेगा।
डीलर प्राइस का फाइल दिखाओ।
जी
सर मैं चलता हूँ।
राजू भाई 4 कप चाय बना दोगे?
थैंक यू। सर ये चौथी चाय।
तुम्हारे लिए। जोरों से बारिश हो रही है, घर ड्रॉप कर दूंगा। बिजनेस तभी बढ़ेगा जब सोच बदलेगी।
Welcome back, friends, to Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India. Real people, real emotions. We are talking to Mrs Anuradha Nijhawan and knowing what her journey has been all about. So Anuradha ji, your business was growing well, you and husband were keeping pace with the times, and suddenly tragedy struck. Can you take us through that time and how you got the company back on its feet?
See, that was a very traumatic period of my life. It was in 2014, and my 2 sons were not with us in business. One was doing his chartered accountancy, and the other one was in the US. The elder one was in the US. So my husband never wanted his children to join this business because he would say ki it's very stressful work. This business is very stressful, and let them study and let them have good jobs and be on their own. So even I was also supportive of that viewpoint of his, and they both were very good in studies, so we had no issues on that. So suddenly one day he was detected with cancer of the esophagus, and I just can't even and at that time you are not ready for anything like this, and within 3 months we lost him. So it was like initially though that acceptance that this has happened, it took some time for it to come, but at that time my father-in-law was here. He stayed over here for 4 months, and I told him that please don't force the children to come into business, let it be their decision. Tomorrow they should not turn back and say that, okay, we never wanted to do this. And so my elder son he left everything overnight in the US. He was doing very well, and he just left everything and he came back, and he decided to stay here. And he said that there are so many families who are attached to our business, where there are so many people who are earning the living from it. How can we just close down? So that's not what we want to do. And it was a huge platform which my husband had left, and it was not possible to just close down everything overnight. And my younger son was doing his CA at that time. He was working with Deloitte, and even he decided to join into business. So after that, he was yet to complete his chartered accountancy. The final group was still there to go, and my elder son said that if I go back, then his studies will also be hampered. He will not be able to complete his so that was a big sacrifice which my elder son has done. He left everything and he came and joined over here, and both of them were not at all, they didn't have any knowledge about this business, because it was only every Diwali we would take them to office. That's it. They were just not at all involved, because in some business families, अच्छा बच्चे ने 12th कर लिया है, the fathers take their sons to the office. My husband was never of this. He would not want them to come into this work at all. And when he passed away, there were because in this business there are a lot of loans which we take for the trucks. So it was like quite a substantial amount which we had to pay back also at that time. It was a big challenge. I still remember we had to go for a customers meeting, and my elder son has studied in the US. So my father-in-law, he stayed back 4 months, and he said that okay, now we are going for this meeting, because people were the customers started thinking whether we are going to close down, or so they had called us. So he said that you only mummy and I will speak, you don't interfere in the thing, you just So my elder son said okay. And you won't believe, Girish, when we went there for the interview, for the discussion, 1 hour discussion, it's only my elder son who kept the full discussion on. And like my father-in-law was, my God, when he came out, he had tears in his eyes. And he said that when my son told that I'm sending him to the US for studies, I was like, really? Are you sure you want to do that? But today I realize that it has really benefited, He was able to carry on the full discussion, and that is the time when I got that confidence. No, we will do it. We have to, take it to the next level now. Whatever he has done, definitely we must take it to the next level. And meanwhile, my younger son was writing his CA exams, and God has been really grateful. He cleared his CA, and so we have a CA with us in the company also.
Anuradha ji, how have you divided the work between your sons? Though I'm sure that would not be a very difficult task, since both of them come from varied backgrounds and have that work kind of clearly chalked out.
We have divided the work, like the elder one takes care of marketing and the clients and everything, and the younger one takes care of the accounting part of. Now there are so many things, GST and all these things coming in.
So what is your role currently? Are you still active in business?
Currently, I have taken a back seat now. Okay. Past 2 years, married them off, and but still I go to work. I'm fully involved in work, but मेरा भी accounts के साथ ही related है. I take care of the petrol pumps, जो भी हो रहा है, and then checking the accounts and driver के accounts and all those. Overall, my yes.
Anuradha ji, what are the company's growth plans from here on?
Growth plans, I would want them to go slow and steady. It's not that कि आज there are people in our trade, they just go and buy 50 trucks, 70 trucks एक साथ में. It's very common. But I keep telling my children that no, let's go slow. 10-12 उससे ज़्यादा नहीं, देन रीपे करो एंड देन यू नो एंड यू हैव टू सी द रिक्वायरमेंट, यू हैव टू इंक्रीज योर इनिशियली जहाँ हमारा 20 crores का टर्नओवर था व्हेन माय हस्बैंड पास्ड अवे, टुडे इट्स टचिंग 40 crores. सो बट इट्स बीन या ग्रेजुअली थोड़ा थोड़ा इंक्रीज करो and do things which are in your control. Don't do work for numbers. At the end of the day you have to earn, so you see what you are doing, and then I take care of the insurance and all those things. Claims होते हैं, गाड़ियों इतनी fleet है, उनकी insurance timely सारी जा रही है कि नहीं जा रही है, then drivers की insurance है. There are a lot of things in this trade which have to be taken care of. So we have divided the work. So it's like,
Anuradha ji, how unsettling was the initial lockdown and the ones that happened thereafter? I mean, we're always used to seeing our trucks moving all through the day and night also. What was your initial reaction and how did you get back to work?
definitely nobody anticipated. First lockdown में तो yes, there were a lot of confusions. Trucks were standing here and there, and drivers भी परेशान थे. They didn't have money on the way, and but we managed to sail through. And first lockdown के बाद में गवर्नमेंट ने भी हेल्प किया. We got moratoriums and all those things, and which we did avail. Though it was a very costly affair. Later on we realized, but that time we didn't realize the actual. Yes, we didn't look into those calculations, or maybe we didn't want to, because उस समय that you have huge loans and you have to repay back, and गाड़ियाँ चल नहीं रही हैं. If your whole fleet is standing, then how do you repay back? Plus, it's not only repayment of those. We have a huge staff जिनकी salaries देनी है, वो सब है. So that was quite a challenging period, but guess it was with everyone, any trade, any business, and even service people, they were not getting their salaries, and सबके साथ में problem थी. So it was part and parcel of the whole thing, but again business picked up quite fast once the lockdown opened. I think
How much time did it take for business to get back to normal?
March to maybe June, July. उसके बाद तो जब लॉकडाउन खुल गई, yes, 3-4 months it was.
Anuradha ji, how do you manage to procure drivers? Having a fleet of over 170 is not a joke anyways. How do you manage to get drivers, since this is one link in the supply chain which is always under stress?
Procuring drivers has always been a challenge. We shortage नहीं बोल सकते हैं अभी at present. See, you need to incentivize them, and you don't get drivers for older vehicles, but we keep on adding the fleet. So जो नई गाड़ियाँ हैं उसके लिए तो ड्राइवर पहले से आके, before the truck is on road, we have driver sitting. For the newer vehicles, but for the older vehicles they don't want to take those vehicles, and they would say कि नहीं हमको नया गाड़ी चाहिए, and so we pay them little extra, and because older vehicle will have more repairs, तो उनका turnaround भी कम होता है, तो their earnings are definitely affected. So we try to compensate them somehow, and we have a lot of drivers who are really old in our company. Yeah. So in fact, I'll share a joke which my husband used to do. Before my marriage, we had a person working for us, and उसका कोई था जो driver था. So जब मेरी शादी हुई, so when I got married, so this guy came and joined her, and from that time that person is working like 35 years. He's working with us. So he used to joke, dowry में कुछ और नहीं मिला, एक driver तो आया साथ में. So we have a lot of drivers who have been with us for quite.
That is very good, because driver retention is a really huge issue.
Yeah. So बाकी insurance करवा रहे हैं हम drivers की, medical वगैरह and all that. But besides that, shortage होती है definitely. I won't say कि shortage नहीं है. Definitely shortage है, but word of mouth से कोई ना कोई करके आ जाता है. बट पहले होता था कि कोई भी आया चढ़ा दिया गाड़ी पे, बट अब ऐसा नहीं है. वी आर उनका पूरा प्रॉपर बैकग्राउंड चेक होता है, एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग.
Friends, it is not very often that we see women in the transport business, and especially at a time when Anuradha ji joined business, women were a scarcity in the road transport industry. So what was the reaction of people around her when they saw Anuradha ji in the pivotal role of her business? And when will her daughter-in-laws be joining the road transport industry? All this and more coming up right after this very short break. Keep watching Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India. Real people, real emotions.
एकदम टिप टॉप है सर है क्या
हाँ है ना ऑफिस में।
कैसा है सर मैं कह रहा था हमारे जो 2 ट्रक है ना
पहले जाके हाथ धो के आ।
सर मैं
हाथ धो के आ।
सर मैं कह रहा था कि हमारे दोनों ट्रक चकाचक है
और मैं कह रहा हूं पहले बैठ जा। बैठ जा। पहले खाना खा लेते फिर काम की बात करते।
बिजनेस तभी बढ़ेगा जब सोच बदलेगी।
Welcome back, friends, to Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India. Real people, real emotions. We are talking to Anuradha Nijhawan of Anand Trans Logistics. So Anuradha ji, what was the reaction of your clients when they saw you coming in for discussions? How was the acceptability from your clientele?
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of people said ki lady sitting in a transport office, then my husband would say, no, our office is very, very secured because we have a handful of people working. She doesn't go on site, she doesn't go and meet the driver, she doesn't go and meet the jahan pe repairs ho rahe. We had 2 offices actually. Right. So I was sitting in the office which is in the city wherein all the accounting work was going on. So I was dealing with those 10, 12, 15 people only in the office. बाकी जहाँ पे ट्रक्स आते थे which is on the outskirts, we had other 2 offices over there, so he would go there and repairs, tire maintenance, everything he was taking care of, like everything he was taking care of. So I wasn't exposed to that, but जैसे मैं बोल रही हूँ कि we have lot of old drivers also. I was in contact with them. कभी भी, in fact, when I lost my husband, the old drivers have really supported, and they have called me personally and said कि भाभी जी, we will take care of the company. You don't have to worry. And ये दोनों बच्चे हमारे बच्चे हैं. And I'm really, some of them have really supported. कहीं पे कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है, कहीं पे कुछ चोरी हो रही है, कुछ हो रहा है, they would call up and inform कि ये गलत हो रहा है, आप इसको देखो. So they have been supportive.
Anuradha ji, when your husband passed away, your sons were not part of the business and neither did they have much knowledge about this business. Did it ever occur to you that you should shut down this business?
I never wanted to shut it down because I have seen it grow, and the amount of hard work which he had done and bringing it to this level, I never wanted to shut it down. And I was only hesitant to the extent that whether these children will be able to take this kind of stress in this work, and they don't know anything. But I guess there is a spiritual journey also which started after I lost him, and that has really helped me. That gave me lot of strength. And actually I would like to tell you this, that God sees the larger picture. So definitely God has really taken care of our family.
Anuradha ji, now that your sons are married, well settled, and their wives are qualified, do you think they would join the transport business?
Both the boys have really worked hard, and they are good boys, and education definitely helps. And in fact, when they got married, I was very open to my daughter-in-laws joining the business. Okay. But in fact, the second daughter-in-law is also a chartered accountant, and I just told them that you have to work, don't sit in the house. I have worked all my life, and I would want you guys also to work. So the younger one was working with the PwC, and she left her job, and she was interested in teaching, so she's taking classes for CA students. So I told her, you do whatever gives you happiness. So I am not the kind that you have to do that 9 to 5 job, you'll get more money, and no, be happy, we have enough and more, and do something which interests you. So she's very happy doing that, and my elder daughter-in-law is a fashion designer, so she's opened up her own boutique. And so in fact in the morning 5 of us just, we pack all the tiffins and all of us are out of the house, and it's actually nice that everybody is working, and in the evening take a enjoy karo, we discuss whatever has happened throughout the day, and it's nice to be together, and that's what, yes.
Finally, Anuradha ji, you are a true inspiration for many women out there who not just are working but also encouraging their family members to work. What would be your message to all the women and all the girls out there who are qualified but hesitant to be part of the family business?
Transport business, yes, definitely you can join transport business. It's a very interesting kind of business. At least I found it very interesting, and there are a lot of changes now. If you're not technically challenged, you're able to do things. A lot of things have changed now. It's a more organized sector now, and definitely you can join transport business, but the bottom line is do something which interests you. Then only you can give in your best. Don't get forced into any kind of work which you're not really interested in doing, and that's what but do something. Just don't sit at home. I think now girls, they don't want to sit at home.
Well friends, that was our interaction with Mrs Anuradha Nijhawan. It is so inspiring to see her journey, and at the same time so heartening to see how her kids came forward to support her and the family business. We hope to see more youngsters joining the road transport industry and bringing into this industry their knowledge, their vision, and a future path that we can all be proud of. We shall continue to bring more stories, more inspiring stories. So keep watching Eicher Nayi Soch presents Trans India, real people, real emotions. And until next week, stay safe. Jai Hind.